as my shirt says, and listen. I want you to listen. Like, we're involved right now. It's crazy. It's loud. It's hectic. We're in New York City, but I want you to listen to No Holds Barred Network.
Enough is enough. They're always taking their sides, careless and nine, plus and minus their divide.
The goddamn pioneer of the No Ring Deathmatch, Brooklyn Black Death, the hipster heartthrob, Casanova Valentine, he's here with Tiffany. We're about to get fucking wild.
Woo! Oh man, that's crazy. I'm sorry, guys. I hit the mute button for a second, but we're good. We're good.
Oh, did they miss it?
No, they heard it. They heard it was mine during my intro. That's okay.
Because I only got one in me, right?
That's okay. That's okay. So again,
Hey,
guys,
you had a good intro.
I know. Okay.
You got some good
I know.
monikers too.
I guess I'm gonna have to do it again. So I'm Tiffany, the EVP of Giggles, the Heartbreak Chick, and the Queen of the Indies. And this is another episode of Under the Ropes. God, this is episode 28. I can't believe it. So
Yo, we might have to switch. I might have to take some of those nicknames. Those are good.
You like them? You know, the funny thing is, every nickname that was given was given to me. It wasn't like me naming myself. Every name was given to me, and there's still multiple names that everybody gives me. So, but we can't use them all because it's gonna be like an hour podcast of like, what is Tiffany's nicknames? So, so we can't do that.
Cool, though.
So, but yeah, guys, share this stream. Let's get some peeps in here. Let's hang out. Let's talk some wrestling. We got some people in the chat. I know we got a bunch of big fan of yours in the chat, all right? I see Jumbo Man's in there. We were just talking about you off air.
Oh, Jumbo Man.
Jumbo Man. He said, "What's good?" He goes, "What's good, brother?" And then our boy Metal, he's in the chat, so he's very excited for this interview. So. But
cool, I'm happy to be here.
I'm so excited for you to be here too. So guys, share the stream. Let's get some peeps in here. If you have questions, drop them in the chat because I'll read them out. So, but I have some questions for you and we got some fan tweets. So
sure.
You're ready to do this?
It's so funny when you hit me up, if you asked if I want to do it, I'm like, well, I'm the proud owner of abundant free time. So I was like, yeah, I'm fucking down. I've just been like mowing the lawn and doing yard work. So I'm country cast right now. So
I know this is the time to get people, and it's like kill an hour, right? Like,
yeah, I've got, we could go for 5 hours if you want.
Oh, well, we'll just go. We'll just see how it is. We'll see how the stream goes with everybody. But, it's even funny. We had Riley Madison on as well. I know you're very familiar with her as well.
Yeah, I love Riley.
And she was like, I was talking to her one day about her makeup on Messenger because I love how she does her makeup. And then I was like, how you doing during the quarantine? And she's like, I'm bored. I was like, well, I could kill an hour for you if you want to come on the podcast. I was like, so she was all excited for that. So, but yeah. Oh, our friend Brad is in the chat. He's another big fan of yours as well. So again, thanks. So, all right. So let's go a little back to basics, okay? Because a bunch of people know you, but a bunch of people might not know you. So let's go a little into the basics. So how did you become a professional wrestler?
I broke in at NYWC, New York Wrestling Connection, which was founded by Mikey Ripwreck. My trainer was Alex Reynolds and Tony Nese, Kip Stevens, and kind of Papadom in Stockade, but yeah, I broke in at Deer Park. You're in Long Island, so
Yes.
the Sportatorium.
Yes.
I live in Brooklyn, so I'd have to take the train in 2 hours, get beat up, and then take the train 2 hours home. So, but I think Jumbo Man trained with me for a little while too before he started reffing. But yeah, I went to NYWC. I think I started in 2012, and before that, like I live in Brooklyn, and I wrestled Greco and freestyle my whole life, like third grade on. I played college football. And I was always like pretty athletic for how girthy I was. So I'd have to take the train in. But I always wanted to be a pro wrestler, but I just didn't know how. I didn't really know how to do it. It wasn't like, I'm a boomer. I'm a little older, so like I didn't even have a cell phone until college. You know what I mean? It was a little bit. It wasn't as accessible. At least I didn't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I found a wrestling school, and I just started going. And I was like, I think 25. And I was 25 or 26, and I was just like, why not? I'm just bouncing bars. I failed out of college. I didn't, I was really feeling weird about life and like, what's my purpose and like, what am I going to do with myself? And so I had to be at rock bottom. You know what I mean? So I'm glad, though. I'm very thankful because pro wrestling is the best thing in my life now. So I'm so thankful I took a gamble on myself and went to wrestling school. So yeah, I broke into NYWC. Yeah, and I started there, and then from there, everything took off from there.
Awesome. So again, for people who don't know you, what are some of the promotions that you have worked for?
See, I'm kind of like an enigma, whereas like I broke into NYWC, and I mean, I guess they'd be technically, but like, I don't really have like a home promotion, you know what I mean? I think probably Outlaw in Brooklyn is my home promotion because they're the Brooklyn brand.
Yes.
But like I wrestle for No Peace Underground, which is a no ring promotion I helped found in Orlando, Florida. I wrestle for Unsanctioned Pro in Columbus, Ohio. I wrestle probably the most notable promotion I wrestle for is CZW, Combat Zone Wrestling.
Yes.
But I'm kind of like this weird. I wrestle Canada, I do the UK, and I just was on a tour of Australia when things, started going tits up here with the pandemic. But so like, it's weird. Like I'm internationally known and I wrestle. I have a full schedule. I did wrestle every weekend, but I don't really do huge name indie promotions, I kind of have my own beast, it's kind of interesting. But I'm hoping to break into some more normal, bigger indie promotions soon. But so far, I've been able to have a full indie life traveling without it. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, probably CZW is probably the most known one, give or take. But I'm most notoriously known for the no-ring death matches I promote and book in Brooklyn. I do them other places, but mostly in Brooklyn.
Right.
So that's how most people know me. So I'm weird. Everyone's like, "Oh, what promotion you wrestle for?" I'm like, the bar.
All of them. No, it's cool. That's why, like I always say, like like I tell people, like, if there's like one particular wrestler you like follow them, because you don't know, what you can find. You can find other promotions that you like, other wrestlers that you might like. It's such a cool thing. And that's why, like, I try to spread, the joy of independent wrestling, because it's not just one promotion. And I think a lot of people, they think just like WWE or AEW or just New Japan, and they're not thinking of the before and how it started.
Yeah.
So,
and not only that, but all your favorite guys, are starting the indies. So,
right.
You could be following, you can be knowing about these guys before they even get developmental contracts. So that's pretty cool. It's just, indie wrestling is just fun. It's, you know what? And it's even more attainable now. Before, the hardest thing with indie wrestling is just how to see it.
Right.
But now with independent wrestling TV, Fight, there's so many more options now. So it's easier to see. And like, then there's guys like me. I book and promote my own shows, and I put them all in their entirety on YouTube for free. I don't even there's no rigmarole. It's just free on YouTube. Boom. So yeah, it's a cool time for wrestling, especially with Twitter and Instagram. You can discover really dope wrestlers, and guys can really blow up out of nowhere. So it's
you never know.
fun.
And it's cool for me, like, as a fan, like, when you, like, see, like, someone, like, even, like, you, if you got, like, called up, like, it's kind of cool to, like, be like, hey, like, I followed them, like, I seen them wrestle at so-and-so, and, like, now they get signed, so it's, like, not only, it's, like, it's such a big accomplishment for you guys, but it feels kind of special for us, I mean, I can only vouch for myself. Like, I feel special, like, when someone that I followed and I like so much that gets signed over. So definitely.
It's cool. It's like I saw that schmuck get stabbed at the Waitagool Hall.
I love it. So what caused you to choose the style that you perform in?
Deathmatch, well, you gotta think of it like this: is growing up, I was a huge, I loved WWF initially as a kid, Hulk Hogan and Papa Shango and Repo Man, Coliseum Video. When I was like 10, I discovered ECW. My older brother was babysitting me, letting us stay up late, and I saw ECW and it blew my mind.
Oh, wow.
So I was a huge ECW fan, huge Sabu, Roadkill. Roadkill, doesn't get as much love, but I always loved Roadkill because he's a big guy and he was, he did cool stuff. But yeah, ECW was my thing. So I always liked hardcore wrestling. And then the more I got into ECW, then I discovered FMW in Japan, Onita, and all the exploding barbed wire matches. And then, I had an older brother. I'm youngest of 5. So one of my older brothers had tapes, and he would show me like Bruiser Brody and Abdullah the Butcher, and like stuff that I didn't grow up with. I discovered it later. So just seeing guys like Abdullah the Butcher, Bruiser Brody, Blackjack Mulligan, Ox Baker, just like I was just drawn to like big, scary, interesting dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I would never be Johnny Red Pants who does flips. So it's just never going to be me. I don't have the body for that. And I'm a little too interesting, creative for that. So I love like big, scary. This guy's a mercenary with an eye patch. This guy, I was always gravitated towards interesting bad guys and violence. I love like, fist fights and like Streets of Rage and movies like Bloodsport. That's just more of what influenced me,
Mm-hmm.
So I was, plus with the ECW and watching FMW, I just always wanted to be a deathmatch wrestler,
Mm-hmm.
right? This was always going to be my reality at some point. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I broke into wrestling, because I wrestled in New York, deathmatch isn't allowed. So initially, the first start of my indie career, I was like a hardcore guy. I was like the street fight guy. Because that's all you could really get away with,
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I started doing my underground no-ring death matches. The first death match I did was one of my no-ring shows. And then from there, I started getting a lot of buzz with my underground death matches. And then Deathmatch Promotions reached out to me. So I kind of organically, Tremont was the first one who invited me to wrestle his promotion. And then from there, CCW had me at Tournament of Death. But, I kind of like, I just willed it for myself. I'm like, I don't know how to break into this. I broke into wrestling. I'm going to do my own deathmatch shows. And then I got, some name recognition, and then they booked me for death matches. So it was cool.
Cool.
I love doing death. I think the big thing is I'm not one of those guys who gets all uptight if you say I can't wrestle and stuff. Because I get the stigma. You see a fat guy covered in blood swinging a light tube. I get it, I just prefer deathmatch. I mean, I have plenty of normal matches. I wrestle in a ring all the time. It's just not as fun. So I just prefer to do death matches. I'm the one taking my time to do these shows.
Yeah.
So I do normal shows all the time. I could do comedy matches. I could do family friendly shows. But just like I like to think of wrestling as music. I can go to any kind of show, but I have the most fun going to a death metal show. You know what I mean? It's just the more extreme style that appeals to me more, you know?
Hey, to each your own, right? Like, I mean, I love freaking light tubes, man. I love it.
Yeah, no.
Like, everybody laughs at me, but I love light tubes. I get so excited. Like,
Yeah, for me, it's like the reason why I like light tubes is because I consider wrestling a performance and I consider it art. And the tube is really interactive. It makes a loud noise. It shatters. It's dangerous, and it's like, you know, it's appealing. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's visually appealing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We see a guy get slammed. Not only does it get cut, but it kind of explodes.
Mhm.
It's visually cool. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's interesting. I'd rather do stuff that if I'm going to sacrifice my body, I want to at least be visually appealing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Sometimes fans don't even know how bad we get cut up on some stuff. It's like no one
Yeah.
even saw it. What was the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a match with carpet strips, they hurt real bad. They cut you up, and they're not even like visually fun for the crowd. So it's like, you know, I don't mind. I'm a big tough guy. I don't mind getting cut up, but if I do, I hope it gets on camera and people see it well. You know.
I love it. I love it. And I love seeing like the first death matches of people too. I've had wrestlers come on and talk about some of their first death matches. Casey Catala came on and I wanted to talk in depth about her match with Jimmy Lloyd.
Yeah.
Because that was just so exciting. Even Anthony Gangone with Matt Tremont, like, and he got cut too. And like he posted a picture on like Twitter. He got a nice big slice on his head. And we talked about him going into the barbed wire and he's like, yeah, that hurt. So
Yeah.
kudos to you guys that, you know, do all this to entertain us. So I know.
I remember someone asking me like, "How do you do the barbed wire?" I'm like, "Well, listen, this is how you do it. You throw your body into it. That's the trick. That's a little trick. There's a little trick I'll tell you.
You just do it.
You lug your fucking body at it, and then you hope for the best.
just do it, right? Like, I gotta entertain us. So again, I appreciate it. So we have a fan tweet. I know you like answered it a little bit, but maybe we could spit a little bit. Midden, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. He said, "What got you into wrestling?" So maybe, I guess maybe like a match or something. Yeah.
I just always wanted. I always liked wrestling. Well, my first memory is of WWF on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my first memory. There was not a time in my life where wrestling didn't exist for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I just always thought it was fun. You know, like Hulk Hogan and Kurt Angle, and Kurt Hennig. You know, like it's just so cool. It was so captivating as a kid. I can't remember a time where I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And I just always thought it was neat. And then as I got older, I was always interested in it, but I just assumed my life would, you know, I just thought, I don't know what I thought, you know, but I tried to do art. I used to be an animator for a little while. I went to college for art. I failed out of art. I had an interview at Marvel comic books. Ended up not getting a job at Marvel. I had an interview at Rockstar Video Games. People don't even know this part about my life, but I didn't get the job at Rockstar, and it was like very hard. And I was just like, dude, and I was just bouncing clubs, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what am I gonna do? And then I was like, yo, just go for wrestling. Why not? Someone has to be a pro wrestler. Why not me?
Yeah.
Every time I told people I wanted to be a wrestler, they always like boo-hoo it. Like, nah. I was like, well, why not? Like, why? And I remember thinking I was too small originally. And I'm 6'2", close to 6'3", and 300 pounds. And I remember thinking I might be too small. And then when I went to wrestling school, I'm like, oh, take that back. I'm a fucking giant. People in the indies were not that big.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm glad I made this decision. And it wasn't easy. Wrestling school was hard. And it took me years before I found I got any traction. You know, I've been wrestling, I don't know, since I started training 2012. And I started really, really wrestling around 2014, 13. It's hard to, when I started, but it took a while, you know, it was a lot of shows for like no money or barely any money and all the time, you know what I mean? It didn't happen overnight. You know what I mean? It finally has gotten to the point now where I travel and I make money and you have to love wrestling. Like you have to, because no one else will drive 15 hours for $40. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You have to love it. Like you have to love it, and you have to know that this is your passion, because if it's not, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? You have to love it. Unless you're already like super jacked, and then you're going to develop mental deal already. You know? But like, you gotta grind and hustle, man.
Yeah.
And the hustle's finally, gotten there.
Right. Brad said in the chat, you created the famous Effie Live skeleton art. How did the collaboration with Effie come out?
Okay. So I don't remember when I think the first time I met Effie was, I had seen his stuff before he blew up, and I was on some podcast. It was called Suplex City Limits,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy who ran it was he was trying to tell. Can I swear and tell dirty stories?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I just started seeing Effie, and I just started seeing the Gymnasty Boys. Like, I just started discovering them, and there was a spot Effie did when it was like I think it was, I don't know for sure, but I think it was IWA Deep South. It was like in Alabama or something, like the South. And there was a spot where White Mike goes into a wheelbarrow, or it was either Effie or him. I can't remember who took it, who received it, or who took it. But then a wheelbarrow put whipped cream in their ass, and the other guy like Brunski ate it out, right? Like super, super shocking, like over the top, like he ate the other guy out in front of like a whole room of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was like a comedy spot, and the guy in the podcast was talking about how, sometimes pro wrestling's overdoing it with these shock spots and blah blah blah, and I was like, no, dude, you don't understand the artistic genius of that. Here they are at a super, super deep, like southern show. They're already getting like gay slurs thrown at them, and so then they do the most over-the-top gay spot in front of all these assholes. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. Like, that's amazing. So that's the first time I ever talked about Effie, was defending him on a podcast. Then we met at we did this thing called Ultimate Bar Brawl in Atlanta, Georgia. It was the first no-ring pay-per-view, but I didn't do it. This other guy named TJ Marcone just did two shows Super Bowl weekend in Atlanta, and he had Tom Lawler versus Ken Shamrock in a no-ring for the main event. So think how weird it is for me. I started the no-ring deathmatch thing in 2016, and by 2019, I'm on a pay-per-view in a bar, and Ken Shamrock's fighting on it in the style of the match that I made famous. Like, what the fuck? Like, good thing I was super depressed in 2016 and started doing bar fights and not giving a fuck. Because now, how it's just in a couple of years, it's here. I wrestled Effie there in a 4-way. And then last year, Murder Mania was coming up. I'm sorry, I'm giving you the longest fucking story.
No, you're fine.
Let's go from the very beginning.
No, you're good.
First, there was nothing. Then God created. But I did Murder Mania, which is my WrestleMania no-ring shows. And I started them last year. I do 2 nights of no-rings, back to back. And I had some planned this year, clearly didn't happen because of all the pandemic stuff.
Right.
But last year, I did FMW Leather the first night, and the next night I did Effie in a death match. And I think it was Effie's first death match. Oh. I'm pretty positive. And so I had to draw I draw all the flyers for all my own no-ring deathmatch shows. So before my promotion even didn't have a name, but now all my no-ring shows are under the banner called New Fear City. And I hand draw all the flyers. So I had to draw a flyer for me and Effie for the show. So I ended up just drawing him as a skeleton just to draw something neat,
Yeah.
And then the show was super good, and I usually make copies of the flyers and sign them and sell them at shows. And I just sold all the flyers, and people really loved that design and were asking about it. And then I hit Effie up, and I go, yo, dude, if you want to use that art for a shirt, go ahead. And I just took all the, on Photoshop took all the, poster info out and just sent him the image. And then I think it's a pretty iconic shirt design. It's kind of interesting. I didn't know that would be one of my things, but
that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, and I'm glad I can help my friend out. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that me and Effie are both very, very similar. That we care about storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, storytelling is way more important than any move. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so we actually made a storyline out of it, where we had a rematch, no ring death match in Orlando, Florida, and he cut his promo. It was hilarious. He goes, "Hey, yeah, me and Cass are friends, but the fact of the matter is that motherfucker still owes me money. He owes me $100. He didn't pay me from last time I wrestled for him because he wrestled 4th of July for me, and I did owe him in real life. Owed him $100, you know." And so then I used it for the promo. I go, "Oh my God, you piece of shit! You really gonna call me out publicly for owing you $100? I designed your top selling T-shirt for free. You made thousands and thousands of dollars. I didn't ask for a cent, and you're really gonna publicly shame me for $100? I tell you what, Effie, I'm gonna keep $100 in my front pocket. If you beat me at Soundbar, you can go through my pockets and take it back. Fuck you." So it ended up being an amazing story arc out of that shirt, you know?
Yeah.
So during the match, and this is one of my favorite matches, and no Peace Underground hasn't released it yet. So hopefully they release it soon, because I really want it to see the light of day. The whole match, it's me and Effie fighting over $100 bill. And in a death match. And we're beating the fuck out of each other, blah, 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 blah. And near the end of the match, I put the $100 bill on his head. I go, "You want your $100? Fucking have it." I stapled to his head.
Yes.
And then he puts me on a table, rips it off of his own head, and goes, "I don't need your fucking money." Staples it back onto my head, and then frog splashed me. And like that is so good, because we could just go out there and have a death match. And I'm not shitting on Canadians. Just it's getting kind of trope to be like, "Oh, destroyer super kicks."
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to be one of those guys. "Oh, I hate that style of wrestling." It's just not my cup of tea.
Right.
But I think it means that match is way more memorable because we fought over $100 bill than if we just went out and hit cool moves. You know what I mean? Like,
That's awesome.
yeah, because that makes it stand out. We could have just gone out there and just had a death match, but like I like intriguing finishes. I like intriguing stories. Like that's like the ICW match with Homicide.
Yes.
The reason it stands out is the finish.
Yeah.
You know, what we did leading up to that didn't really matter.
Right.
You know, and I wish more wrestlers thought of it like that. I think of it like this, okay? And is if you're into flips and super kicks and destroyers and just high moves, because listen, it is entertainment. You want to see cool shit. It looks cool, right?
Of course.
I consider that sports entertainment.
Right.
And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Listen, I'm a big fat deathmatch bar fighter. I'm never going to tell anyone what is and isn't wrestling, okay?
Yeah.
But I consider that sports entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
But if you care about storytelling, long-term storytelling, build-ups, blow-offs, emotion, getting the crowd captivated, having a unique finish, a unique idea, I consider that a craft.
Yeah.
You know, and me personally, in my point of view, is I consider pro wrestling, and I consider it when it's the best it can be, is when it's a craft. So for me, like Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant and leg dropping him is so much more meaningful and so much more impactful and so much more important than any fucking indie style, you know, work rate match that went on for, with 50,000 falsies. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's just my opinion. You know what I mean?
Right.
I care more about storytelling and why you're doing things and why you could, what story you're trying to convey. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so important. I mean,
that's why I
enjoy it.
love Effie, because he feels the same way about doing stuff of intrigue. Instead of just trying to get a cool GIF, on social media to get over of you hitting like a Van Terminator, I'd rather have a Shawn Michaels, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, "I love you, I'm sorry," super kicked him into retirement. You know what I mean? That's so much more to me, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I like it.
So the long answer, yeah, Effie's a good guy.
Well, I love that we have like all different types of wrestling today, right? So you can appreciate a little bit of everything. So
here's the thing: is there's enough room at the table that everything can exist, and there's plenty of things that I'm not into, but it's fine. You can't imagine being a painter who only does still life photorealism and looking at Jackson Pollock painting that splatter paint and going, that's not art.
Right.
It's subjective.
Right.
Motherfucker. It's a performance base. It's performance art. I know some guys get uncomfortable. I feel bad for every kind of broy body guy who I'm a wrestler, and like they don't really know that they've been performance artists this whole time because it threatens them. Oh, I can't be artsy, but it is. It's a performance art. It's a performance based. That's what it is. I mean, come on, we're playing characters and we're trying to tell stories.
Of course,
that's the whole fucking point,
Yeah. Okay, so who's had the best, like, what's your like best independent crowd that you've worked for?
Oh man, that's hard.
Or you can give us a couple, like maybe like 2 or 3, like if it's
yeah. The my favorite crowds. Unsanctioned Pro in Columbus, Ohio. I've wrestled there a lot, and I held their hardcore championship a lot, like probably 5 times. And like I love going there. The crowd pop, like the crowd energy there is insane. I also, believe it or not, one of my favorite promotions to work is Rise Underground in the UK. I feel like they are like the modern equivalent to ECW because they're raunchy. They have crazy characters. They have the Pork of York, and they have this guy Dr. Darwin, and they have all these crazy, silly, weird fucking characters, also mixed with like over the top crazy violence, and it just feels that vibe of that weird, wild party. So every time I go over to the UK, I love going over there. But yeah, definitely Rise Underground, Unsanctioned Pro. Outlaw Wrestling, I wrestle in Brooklyn. They run in Williamsburg, and I live in Brooklyn, so the pop is always great there. One place that hates me is anytime I've ever wrestled for Vicious Outcast Wrestling in West Virginia, I get booed out the building.
Oh, wow.
Like, what the fuck? I wrestle all over the world, but when I go to West Virginia, I hate it.
Oh, wow.
So random.
That's crazy. Okay, so who's been one of your favorites to work with in ring or outside of the ring?
I would say that the best matches of my career have been with Effie and G Raver.
Ooh, yes, G Raver. Yes.
G Raver is so good, so talented, and I could call a match with G Raver with my eyes closed. I'm not even. Being a wrestler is interesting. You never know what you're going to walk into. If you never wrestled someone before, if it's going to be hard to figure the match out. This is no slight on Dan O'Hare, but anytime me and Dan O'Hare get booked with each other, we're both like, we just can't figure it out. Like, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Well, what do you want to do? We just don't. Dan's great. We just don't have a lot of chemistry, I feel.
Right.
Where I feel like me and Effie and Raver, it's very easy to call the match. I could literally, and it just makes sense. It's easy. So yeah, I think those have been my most enjoyable matches.
That's cool. So what would you define as your ideal death match?
My ideal death match?
Yes.
A pillow fight.
Okay.
I can pay thousands of dollars for.
Oh my god.
My ideal death match. I've been working on. I'm trying to get this going when I come back. Is I called out Jeff King in Detroit for Horror Slam, and I want to do Taipei Death mixed with the Last Man Standing.
Ooh.
So Taipei Death was the broken glass on your taped fists mixed with a 10 count knockout rule. I'm trying to make that a new thing I do. And also, when wrestling's back, I want to do an Iron Man match with John Wayne Murdoch.
Ooh.
An Iron Man no ring death match, but for an hour.
Ooh.
So I get in good shape for that one.
Oh boy. So we have a fan tweet. Actually, we have a couple of questions from this one. It's from our friend Carl. He said, since you're the king of no ring death matches, he goes, what is the reason the Casanova specializes in this type of match?
I hated setting rings up. Well, I just created the no ring death match because the quick. I'll give you the quick version. Is I booked an art show at Tender Trap, this bar in Brooklyn. I was the bouncer at. They used to have art shows in the back, and I booked an art show, and it was all pro wrestling themed. I did paintings of famous dead wrestlers like Bruiser Brody, Owen Hart.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to do a performance piece. I was like, oh, I'll wrestle someone at my art show as a performance art.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't planned to be a thing. It was supposed to be a one-off for an art show, but it was just so good. I kept doing more art shows with more wrestling. Eventually, I was like, hey, I don't think I need to make all this art to do these shows. And that just became about the wrestling, you know? Mm-hmm. So it just kind of snowballed from there. It kind of was like a happy accident, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, and then now it's my thing. Which is crazy. Is like a lot of people outside looking in, they're like, "Oh my God, you're fighting on hardwood floors. There's no ring." But really, we don't bump that much because it's a hardwood floor,
right?
And it's just mostly walking and talking. I actually get more mileage. If anything, it's actually prolonging my career because it's easier on my body than taking a Canadian destroyer off of a fucking balcony,
right?
You know what I mean? I'm just kind of punching and drinking beers, you know.
Oh man, I mean, I like the no ring. I went to my first no ring last year. We were talking about this off air. Tino's art gallery one last summer. So you were part of that too. So it was very interesting because that was my first no ring promotion like that I kind of went to go see. So it was very, very interesting. I always tell everybody, keep an open mind. You just don't know, right? Especially if you're not familiar with it. I always say, give it like a chance. Give everything at least one chance. And there's so many different promotions and styles. So, but I was very entertained. So,
we gotta think in a normal show, you're behind the guardrail, and so everything has to look big and tight and big. Whereas, like, if I just hit a chop shoulder to shoulder, I hit a chop on some guy who's standing right next to you, shoulder to shoulder. It's like, what the fuck? You can actually feel the impact. It's very visceral, you know?
Yeah, you kind of involved in a way because you're trying to move out of the way you're getting banged into. Like, it's pretty interesting.
It's more like if you're at a concert and a fight breaks out and the bouncers let it go.
Yeah.
Like, let him work it out, you know?
So his second question is, whatever happened to the dildo with the nails in it? Was it ever found?
It was never found. It was stolen after my last no-ring death match against MV Young, the last one I did in New York. Someone stole it, and then they left it on the subway. And then there's videos of it riding the subway, almost sad and alone. So scared.
That's rude. That's rude.
But it blew up. It got social media famous. It got over like 100,000 likes on Subway Creatures. And so what's funny is my dick is more famous than me. But yeah, I've had fans make me multiple new Saint cocks. So now I've got like 10 dicks.
Oh jeez.
So, but the original one, I really wanted to make a video of me going to the MTA Lost and Found and be like, have you seen my penis? About yay big nails. But I'm sure they threw it out, you know.
Oh man. His last question is, who's your dream opponent?
Probably Sabu still. I grew up loving Sabu. I know he's older and it's harder for him to do the insane moveset he kind of innovated. But man, I still haven't even met Sabu, and as a fan, as like for this to come full circle, I think it would be nice. I wrestled Tommy Dreamer at Outlaw, and that was another bucket list match. We went kind of quick. We only did like 5 minutes because it was hectic and he had to fight and stuff. But I would like to wrestle Sabu because his biggest fan as a kid, and it would just be nice, to get it in if I could,
That's cool. Hopefully that happens. Let's, fingers crossed. So what are your thoughts on the growth of independent scene in the tri-state area since the beginning of wrestling?
Well, I love the scene right now. When I broke in, it was Fireborough Wrestling, Fighting Spirit Wrestling, WOW, Warriors of Wrestling, and NYWC. But and then there was also Tier, right? tier 1.
Tier 1, yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, everything is always like New York City, New York, Brooklyn. But they always run outside of Brooklyn. You know, they're not in Manhattan. They're like Jamaica, Queens, or Mills Basin, Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, that's why currently I'm a little biased because I wrestle for them. But I love wrestling for Outlaw because they run in Williamsburg. It's like not a schlep. It's not. The other shows are in the middle of nowhere, and I'm not to be a dick. I know you have to find venues, and other venues are expensive, but it's attainable. I can tell my friends, guys, it's literally off the G&L train. You know, like it's right here. It's next to all the cool bars and nightlife in Williamsburg. There's stuff.
Right.
It's not like, hey, it's Saturday night. You want to drive 2 hours in the middle of nowhere and watch wrestling in a brightly lit gym, and then drive all the way back, and it'll be too late to do anything. Like this one. It's good. It's good location. So you wrestle, and then we all go to the bars and still have a fun Saturday night. You know. So I love wrestling for Outlaw. Their last show, they had over 400 people, and they had actually stopped letting people in because the fire code. It was that packed.
Wow.
So hopefully after the pandemic, they can keep building that steam. Hopefully everything works out. But yeah, I love wrestling for Outlaw, and it's good for me too because I wrestle my no-ring shows, and then I get to do the normal in-ring matches still in Brooklyn. You know.
Right. I've been
So
Outlaw before.
It's nice to have a home, you know, it's nice to get on the subway to get to a show as opposed to a flight, you know?
Yeah. I've been Outlaw before. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Outlaw's getting really cool. You know, what's funny is I live in Brooklyn, but I don't really do a lot of New York promotions, really. I do NYWC every once in a while when my schedule's open.
Yeah.
I'm still super loyal to NYWC. And then I work at a brewery called Other Half, and twice a year we do these big beer festivals, like huge beer festivals in Industry City in Red Hook, and I do the wrestling for them. So at these big beer festivals, I do the wrestling. So I wrestled Bull James, I wrestled Tony Deppen, I wrestled Bam Sullivan on the last one. So I've been able to do no-ring shows and also get a big ring show twice a year. So it's fun.
Yeah. I gotta go to one of those beer ones because Jumbo Banza was talking about them, so I always miss them somehow.
Dude. I'll tell you what. Next, when wrestling comes back and the world's normal, I got you a ticket to the next brewery show. Okay?
Thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I hear good things about it, so I gotta get. Like I said, I love it's so sad with the pandemic and everything because my goal of 2020, and I had said this last year, was to go to promotions that I've never seen before. So I've had bucket list of promotions that I wanted to go to. So, and I was like, why didn't anybody ever tell me about these beer? Like, it was always like after the fact, or it's like during the fact. Like, Jimmy, like you have to tell me before, because it's so bad. I have like scheduled for like months to go see shows. Like promoters hit me up. They're like, oh, this date, save this date. So you gotta let me know in advance. So I can't know date of, let me know in advance. But I'm excited. I definitely want to see one of these shows. So
yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll do you one better. I'll get you a free ticket, and then when wrestling comes back, remind me when it gets closer. We'll do some kind of giveaway on through your social media, and I'll give a ticket away to one of your listeners.
Oh, you're so awesome!
It's all you can drink too, so it's a big, huge beer. It's more than just a wrestling show. You're also going to be able to drink for free all day. So
right. I definitely
we'll auction one off or figure out some way to give one out. Okay.
Awesome. That's exciting. Yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I can't wait to go
fun.
see.
We'll just get a little fucked up.
Hey, let's go. I'm ready.
Hey, it's Kazich.
Okay, so with 2020, obviously we've been halted, which sucks. Okay, but like who did you see? Like in your opinion, who should people be on the lookout for?
Who are guys?
Yeah.
Interesting guys. I think MV Young was he's on the cusp of blowing up. He's got a really good gimmick. He has like this light ring and he's like really vain. And he has a poly cult where he says he's like in a relationship with all of his fans. I think that's interesting and intriguing. There's a lot of guys that have great characters that I wish more eyes get on. There's a guy named Richard Shineri, which is his name's Dictionary. It's a pun. And he's a librarian gimmick in LA. And he was doing the librarian thing way before AEW. So when they asked the librarian, it's like, dude, you got to book Shineri. Like, that's literally. But what's funny about his library gimmick is he plays it like a tough guy shooter who just happens to be a librarian. So he's like a badass.
Right.
And he gives people paper cuts and like he chops you and shushes you. Like, fucking. You know how with Orange Cassidy, you see it, you go,
Yes.
oh, that's so refreshing.
Yes.
That's how I feel about Shinari. Like, it's just like, oh, this is so smart, you know. It's so fucking good, you know. Richard Shinari's great. MB Young, I think, is going to blow up. There's just so much talent now.
There is.
I definitely think MB is going to be one of those guys soon.
Yeah. Great. Definitely another one that's really, really great in the ring. Okay, so I asked everybody this question. Everybody always has very interesting stories, so I'm really curious what your story is. What's been the craziest thing a fan's done to get your attention?
I have a fan in Orlando that made a sign with my face on it. I'll send you the picture of it after this. Female fan, and it says, "All I want for Christmas is to Casanova to eat my ass."
Oh my god.
Yeah. And my girlfriend at the time was not happy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah. She had another sign that I didn't get a photo of, but it said, "Casanova stores drugs with your mom while your dad watches."
Oh jeez.
I was like, these signs are fucking incredible. I also did a show at NYWC, like in my first year wrestling, and the sign said, "Casanova Valentine fucked my wife."
Oh jeez.
And I don't even know these people. Like, it's not like my buddy being funny. Like, I don't fucking know these people. Good stuff.
That's damn.
I'll send you the picture of the
yeah,
girl
send me.
sign.
I'm gonna post it on the No Holds account so you guys can like see it. It'd be kind of funny to see. Wow.
Yeah. Top content.
That's why I'm saying, like, this is why I always ask this question, because everybody's always got an interesting story to tell. So that's pretty fun. I won't do that stuff. I'm more of like a silent. I'll make signs, but I'm more like, I'm not that bad. Unless,
you're not going home.
I'm not that bad unless somebody's on my list, the husband list. But
okay.
Okay, so what's been the biggest piece of advice that a wrestler's given you?
Best advice that I've received?
Yes.
I guess I would just say, like, save your bumps. When I first broke in, I just was so excited to do stuff. I remember it was Alex Reynolds, he said, save your bumps, because especially in training, we want to try stuff. He's like, dude, why are you doing that in training? What the fuck are you doing? If you're going to do this crazy thing, practice it safely, but don't take a stupid bump in training. What the fuck?
Right.
You only have so many bumps on your body. I'm lucky. I've had several broken ribs, but I haven't had a major injury like a knee blowout or something like that. But I feel pretty good, even though I'm in pain a lot. But, I broke in. Two of the people I broke in with have already broken their necks, and they're in their early 20s, Save your bumps. Be careful with yourself. You only have one body. I get everyone's excited to do shit, but, like, what I do looks crazy. The death match, all the blood, and all the cuts and the violence. But I've never broken my neck. Normal matches are just as dangerous.
Right.
Yeah, the odds go up when there's sharp stuff. I get it. But it's just as dangerous. Everyone's putting their body on the line. And I always see these indie matches where everyone always takes high neck bumps. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Wow.
The reverse Rana neck bump all the time. Papa. You just got to be careful, man. You only have one body. I'm doing everything I can to try to get into better shape, stretch, do yoga. And I want to go into my 40s. My goal was to retire at 40, but with coronavirus, I'm going to lie and say I'm a year younger now. I got lost this year.
I think we need to put this...
I want to wrestle till 45. I don't want to be wrestling in bars into my 40s. I think, I'll stop there. But I think I still got some good years. I'm 33. I still got a little bit of run left in me. So we'll see what we got. Well, but yeah, save your bumps, kids.
There you go. And we're gonna
reason to kill yourself.
We're gonna put this year in a bag of rice. Like, seriously, we need to do over. So what's been some of the stuff you've been doing to keep in ring shape during the pandemic? Are you doing any of these challenges? All these stupid challenges?
So I was in Australia. I was doing a tour of no ring death matches in Melbourne, and then that's when everything went south. And then I flew home, and I didn't even go back to my apartment in Brooklyn because I already had a big thing of luggage. I had everything I needed. So I just came straight. My parents live in upstate New York now, like 4 hours outside the city. So they live in, like, this town is like 4,000 people, 2,000 people maybe. So the middle of nowhere, it's like everyone has, like, it's country. Like, everyone has camo hats and, like, shit kicker boots. It's country. And it's like everyone, when people think of New York, they think the city, but no, upstate New York is real hick. You know what I mean? So I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I'm kind of treating this like prison. I'm just working the fuck out because there's nothing else to do. You know, I haven't even seen anyone under the age of 50 in 2 months. You know, so
right.
So there's a gym, there's a barn behind my house, and I took all the weights I had left here and everything, my heavy bag, my punchy bag, my speed bag, like all the kind of workout equipment I had left from as a kid, and set up a gym in the backyard called the Shred Shed. So I've just been lifting weights in the barn every day, and that's it. I've just been lifting weights in the barn. I've been fighting the air in the barn, like working heat on nothing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then between then, I'm just a teenager again. My dad's like, hey, if you mow the lawn, I'll get pizza. So fucking, I'm literally a kid again. I set up a PlayStation 4 in my room, and my mom's like yelling. I'm like, Mom, I'm playing my game.
What are you playing? Or like, what's the go-to game
I just beat the last God of War, and then I downloaded Streets of Rage 4, the new one, and it was alright. It was fun. I haven't played video games since college because I don't have the fucking time.
Right.
I'm a bouncer and a wrestler, you know. But now I'm like, I've got the time.
Right.
So I don't know how people play video games in their normal life, because I could never justify wasting this much time. You know, with the normal world. Right now I can. I'm just too busy. Like, what's funny is in Brooklyn I only work 3 days a week. I bounce at the brewery Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the rest Thursday I usually fly out somewhere. You know, but it's like I don't even have enough time to between the gym, 3 days of work, and wrestling. I'm slammed. You know, it's like it's amazing, like how much time it takes to do everything. You know, in the city. So. Now I'm slowed down. I'm in the country cast.
It's weird. Like me, I was getting used to, like, every weekend I had like wrestling going on. Every once in a while there'd be like a Thursday show or like a Friday show, and then even like a Sunday show or something. It's crazy. Like, it's weird.
I'm definitely excited. As you mentioned, you had Danny on. I was really excited to do more shows with ICW. Yes. I was really, really excited about that. I had a tryout with a major promotion that was supposed to happen April 25th. That is postponed, you know. Wow. And I can't even talk about it because, you know.
Right.
But like, man, I was just hitting on all cylinders. You know, I had a lot of exciting things coming up. A lot of dream matches were coming up, and I just have to grind, stay in as best shape as I can, stay positive, and hopefully when shit clears up, there's opportunities that will still be there. So there's nothing you can do. No one can do anything. You know, it sucks. I mean, I haven't had sex or drink in 2 months. Fucking miserable. But you gotta just, you know, it is what it is. It's out of everyone's hands. You know what I mean? So hopefully wrestling comes back, and it comes back. Dude, I think it's going to come back, and it's going to be fucking awesome.
Oh, it's going to be great.
It's got to stay positive and grind. I already know before I go back to Brooklyn, when it's clearing up and I know I'm heading back to the city, is I'm going to do a no-ring death match in the shed. I'm going to do the Shred Shed.
Ooh.
Like the dungeon, like Stu Hart's dungeon. And I have a treehouse in my backyard. So I'm going to do a frog splash off the fucking treehouse.
Oh, God, I can't wait.
I already have the idea for the match. It's whoever I end up wrestling, we're going to do a huge violent play death match, and then it's going to cut to all of us eating a nice Italian dinner with my parents. Like, all bandaged up, just eating pasta.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So, and I'll stream that live, you know. But,
man.
I've got so many ideas in the works. I have so many feuds I want to do, locations I want to be. Like my main goal is when I come back, I really want to do Zona 23. I want to do the Junkyard in Mexico. I want to get to Japan. Before I used to think I couldn't do Japan, but like I've done UK, Australia, Canada. Why can't I do Japan? Like what the fuck? Why not?
Why not?
I don't have a promotion backing me and helping me get there. I just got to make those moves on my own, and I've done so much else on my own. So I still have my goals. I want to get Zona. I want to get Mexico, I want to get Japan, and I want to get some, be it MLW or something like that, an Impact. I want a TV contract.
Oh.
I know I do death, but I can work any kind of style. So that's my goal. I'm gonna get it. It's just a matter of time.
You
I feel
are
confident.
Yeah, definitely. You have a lot of big fan base, so even us. There's a whole, like I said, there's a bunch of people in the chat that are behind you, so we're excited. And again, like you even said, like even now, like we're home and we can't go and enjoy wrestling, but you guys, there's so many apps. Like it's great. You know what? We're sponsored. Cheap plug.
Oh,
we're sponsored. We're sponsored by Power Slam TV, guys. Make sure you go. Use code No Holds Free. Enjoy 1 month free. So definitely, there's a lot of CZWs on there. There's a bunch of promotions on there. So I'm so excited for that. Thank you guys at Power Slam TV for sponsoring us. So definitely go check out some wrestling. I love the independent scene, and I love like ICW. I always talk about ICW all the time. Yeah. ICW is one of my favorites.
Been doing fun things. The whole reinventing themselves with No Holds Barred. It's cool, man. I was really happy when they approached me and asked me to do the Homicide match. So that was a big opportunity for me. I'm hoping to do more matches with them when, shit is less fucked.
Yeah. I hope we get back to normal. At least like things are slowly opening. Like, I mean, I don't know how it is going to be here in the tri-state. So, but again, like, this is time to catch up on wrestling, right? I mean, I feel like that's like there's so much wrestling, you can't keep up with everything. And I always feel bad because there's so many promotions that run and you want to try to support everybody and it's hard. So
yeah, but but think of what a great time. There's so much wrestling. Yeah. Like that's so wonderful. You gotta think there's other parts of the country that there's nothing. Yeah, I wrestled a show. I did a no ring death match in North Dakota for a promotion called Time Bomb Wrestling. And there's just one indie in the whole, place, and it's horrible, like, so it's like, you gotta be lucky. Some places it's
we're
not
blessed.
Like, New Jersey, there's like literally like
oh my God.
70 active indie promotions. It's crazy,
I can't.
So just enjoy it, have fun. When the wrestling comes back, I love like there's a lot of wrestlers that don't like to interact with fans really. I'm the complete opposite. I'll have a beer with anybody. I'm down to get a beer after the show. I'm thankful to have fans. Like the fact that people even give a fuck is very humbling and flattering, So I'm always down to get a little fucked up with fans.
All right, let's do it. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna come with a group because I come with a group of people. Like we all flock together.
We'll get Jumbo Man fucked up
and sing karaoke.
Sure, I'm down. Snacks Outlaw show. We all go to this bar called Rock and Rolla afterwards. So
okay,
I'll get the first round of drinks, and we'll get.
Oh, okay.
My goal is to get Jumbo Man fucked up.
We always go to the bar after Full Faith Wrestling. Oh God, what's the name of the bar? I know he's in the chat. He's laughing. He said yes in the chat. But yeah, we every time after Full Faith Wrestling at the NYWC, we always go out with a bunch of the wrestlers and pancakes and all the shade.
Oh, where do you go? To Grazzo's?
Yes, Grazzo's. That's BK Grazzo's. Thank you. Yes, so we always go there after.
Grazzo's great.
And the last time we went, we were sitting and we were doing karaoke. So we were with Jerry and yeah, so it's so cool. I love it. Me personally, that I could say like, guys, don't be like a dick when you go approach wrestlers. Like a lot of them are so cool, and I think a lot of people think that even when you play a heel, that you're actually that person. But I have found that it's the opposite. Most of the heels. That's why I think I like heels a lot. But
wonder why? Because the heel. I'll tell you why. I have this hypothesis. Is heels are usually like big creative types who are like, oh man, maybe I have goo coming out, and I wear this mask. Maybe I have a giant wrench, and I'm Dr. Wrench Man. You know, some kind of stupid dipshit artsy shit. And they're usually like creative types.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the baby faces are just like, I can't eat anything. I have to go back to the hotel. What do my abs look like? They're just like boring. Guys, listen, let's be honest. If you go to the gym all the time, I work out a lot, but most of these body guys, like, if the most exciting thing about you is the meal prep you did, you're probably a boring fucking guy. I'm sorry, he's probably fucking boring. You know, I don't want to party with him. I want to party with Sludge McCoolahan. You know, I want to hang out with that fucking guy. I want to hang out with, you know, so
No, it's true.
PD abs. You know, like fuck that.
But it's cool. Even me as a podcaster and like people coming up to me, but even like me talking to wrestlers, like it's such a humbling experience for me. Like I truly appreciate that you guys take out the time and sit and chat with me, because not only, you know, of course, like I do it for all you guys out there, for the fans, but I get joy out of it too, because I get to hear the backstories of you guys. So, you know, like
it's fun. Wrestling is a lot more, you know, with Twitter and Instagram. It's a lot more. You know, it's not as behind closed doors. It's not like, you know, if I'm a heel, I got to be a dick to you now. I like some form of keeping kayfabe always, you know.
You're right.
But I want people to have fun at shows. I think the veil's been opened up enough that as long as you make the match look good and believable, and you get the fans there in that moment, there's no reason to be a dick.
Yeah. Hey, look, we've all had those stories, right? I've had my share as well of some of them too being dicks, but for the most part, like I really haven't had a lot of bad experiences. It's like I said, it's very humbling and it's cool. It's just I think when I started doing these wrestling podcasts, I was very nervous going up to wrestlers talking. Now it's like I'm kind of like the opposite, and it's been really great. So you guys are great.
Good.
So you guys are great. Like I love it. You guys are just like us, right? Like just like normal person, just like any of us. So that's what I always tell people, because it's funny that I got over that. It took me a while to get over that feeling. So when I see my friends, they're like, "No, I can't go talk to them." I'm like, "Go talk to them." I'm like, "No, I can't."
I just have a lot more scars.
Yeah, it's too funny. So I mean, this interview is amazing. So I have one last question for you. So
let's. We've done over an hour.
Yeah, we've done a little bit over. Yeah, Jimmy's calling me a mark. You're calling me a mark. You're the biggest mark of them all.
Listen, we're all marks. We all love wrestling. It's
no,
fine.
we do. I love it.
Yeah, I've only slept like 3 hours, because I couldn't fall asleep last night, and then I got up and mowed the lawn, so I'm like exhausted.
Yes.
So, but I got one more in me. So
okay, we got one more. Okay, so.
Mowed the lawn. What is that? By the way, just when mowing the lawn in upstate isn't like Queens where you have a patch. Like we own like anchors. Like
definitely, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. So what you got?
So to all inspiring or amateur wrestlers out there, what's a piece of advice that you would give them?
Keep an open mind. Don't talk. Shut the fuck up. Like. When you're in training and they're trying to explain something to you, don't be like, oh, just be quiet, listen. They've been there, and they're there to help you, make you. So just be quiet, be humble, and keep a good attitude. Don't be a dick. I rubbed people the wrong way when I first broke in, because I would always talk back, not in a negative way, but they'd be like, oh, when you hit the rope, do that. I'd be like, oh, did I do that? I wish I had someone to say, shut the fuck up, So just shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, keep your ears open, stay positive, and just be nice to one another, man. It's so cutthroat the more you do it. So try to make good friends and just be positive. I hate all these wrestlers that are always negative, talking shit to each other, and it should be fun. When I was a kid and I said, hey, I want to be a pro wrestler, I didn't say, hey, I want to be passive aggressive with other adults. I want to just have fun. This is supposed to be a release. It's supposed to be take it serious, but enjoy yourself and live your dream, man. Go for it. Just keep an open mind. Listen to advice. Don't talk back.
Yeah, no, it's great advice. It's funny. A lot of people do say that. So, but I see it now. I guess I'm part of the business, right? Like I'm a podcast. I'm part of the business. So now, I'm in the business. But everybody tells me the same thing. So, but no, definitely. So tell everybody where they can find you. I put all your links below, and I put your beautiful shirt, your merch. If you guys want to go support, the links below as well.
Hey, yeah, I've got. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's Casanova Val666. On Instagram, it's MC Death Bear. It looks like Mick Death Bear, but it's MC Death Bear. It's my art alias. I used to, do more art, but now my wrestling picked up. So MC Death Bear Instagram, Casanova Val666 on Twitter. If you go search Casanova Valentine on YouTube, all my no-ring death matches that I promoted are there for free. So you can go watch literally hours worth of me rolling in glass. And then if you go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Casanova Valentine, I have 4 new shirts up on there. And also, if you go to Smart Mark, I have a link in my Twitter. The Best of 2019 DVD download Blu-rays available. 17 of my best matches from last year. And this Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time at the Boulevard Bullies Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Boulevard Bullies, I'm doing my Best of 2020 live stream. And it's the Best of 2020, a.k.a. all the matches I had in 2020 before the pandemic. So there's 12 matches
Oh, cool.
from ICW, CZW, Unsanctioned Pro, Outlaw, Horror Slam, Heavy Metal Wrestling in Texas, and a bunch of no rings. So, and both of the matches I got in Australia. So you can talk to me again live this Tuesday at 10 p.m. with Pat from the Boulevard Bullies. I'm going to do commentary over the only 12 matches I had in 2020.
Awesome.
And, yeah. There it is.
There it is, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the No Holds Barred Network.
We might have to have what was your what tickles what was your again?
The EVP of Giggles.
The EVP of Giggles. I might have to come for that one. I don't know. We'll do it. We'll do a Giggles on a pole match.
Oh my God.
That's good. I have to add that.
Yeah, I have a million names, right? EVP Giggles, yeah. The Heartbreak Chick, and the Queen of the Indies. And Queen of the Indies, since I follow all you indie guys, and I love it. I can't get enough of it. So, guys,
well, hey,
yeah.
Tiffany, thank you so much for having me, and
absolutely
keep on.
Yes, absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for episode 28. Please make sure you subscribe. Go get some love. Go buy some merch. Go check out his matches. And we will return with another episode soon. So, bye, guys.
Hail Satan!